Okay, this is my Epson XP605. I am using a CISS, that's a continuous ink system on this. Let me take these off here. I've had this quite a while. That's what these pipes are for. Basically going to some ink at the side there. I should have some other videos talking about this system. Just recently I've just received a message, came up when I went to print, that the ink pad was full, or near full. These do have an ink pad when you're sort of cleaning out the inks or whatever, or just general use, to fill up, and basically then the printer needs either replacing, the ink pad needs replacing, and also they have a software counter in here that will count the number of uses. Now there's software you can get to do that. There's also a method where you can put a pipe in here and it'll go to a little bottle, so that it'll fill up, and if you have a resetter, you can keep using, because some will only reset once, so be careful what you're buying there. Basically you can just keep using that and it will just keep filling up the bottle. Right, I have found there is a cartridge replacement on here. Going to try that. Right, so say lift that up, which is sort of take this out. Don't lose that. And that sort of brings the print heads over here. Then I can unclip them. I have to unclip them almost all at once and keep them together. And there are clips on the sort of sides here, so I'm going to unclip them and then I'll come back. So let me show you this now. So the ink cartridges have been removed, as you see. These the continuous ink system at the side here now. Unclipped all the pipes, but basically this sort of thing here is almost where the waste ink, I think, goes down in the sponge and into a unit that's actually more near this front corner here, well underneath. Okay, let me clip this clip. This is for the pipes to go in, 2 clips here on this CISS, but you probably won't have that. So basically now I'm going to turn off the printer. All the heads are going, the cartridge things are going back there. Let's close the lid. And then I'm going to unplug it and we're going to get it open. Okay. Right, I've unplugged it, the USB and the mains. Let's push this back in. This does have paper in, so I'm going to take out the paper trays and throw them on the floor. Yeah, right. Okay, so I've took out the paper trays. Close that, close this as much as possible. With the CISS it won't close properly unless I take the things off. On the front edge, just here, there's 2 screws. So here's one screw and the other one is just here. So we need a Phillips screwdriver to undo those 2 screws. Very awkward for me to show you this. one. They're quite short. Okay, then we need to remove 2 more screws that are up under here. One here, one there. Particularly this right hand side that we're going to be working on, that's right on when I'm looking at the machine. Again, these are 2 quite small screws. I would suggest we do remove them on both sides. Okay. Let me stand this on its end. Be careful with the lid because it will come open, as you see here. And this is the part that we want to be doing. This is where the ink pad is. Let me get my gloves on now, because although I've got a bit of ink on my hands, I don't particularly want too much more on. Only trouble here is I can't grab my tools. So let's unscrew a screw here. Actually, I will take my gloves off because I can't really work with those on. Being careful, holding it steady. But there's some other screws we have to remove first, so let me turn this back up. Apparently, being careful of the lid all the time, being careful of the lid. You might want to tape them together. There is another screw down here, just in this corner. I'll try to show you that. So here's the cartridges when they're at rest. This is the right hand side of the printer. Just under here. There's another Phillips screw down there. Okay, it's quite low down. And we need to get that out. Now I would recommend some blue tack on the end of your screwdriver so it'll stick to it. So just put a little bit of blue tack on the end of the screwdriver there. In. This is a little bit tighter, this screw. Come loose. And basically this corner then should almost lift up, see, like this. Be careful if the screw has come out the hole that you do get it. We retrieve it. It's here. This is a bit longer one, this one. So there's that corner there. There's another screw here. I don't think we need to touch that one. There's another screw under here, the side, right on the edge, that we need to be undoing as well. So that's a little bit longer than the very first ones, I think. And then this corner here should just slide forward, come up loose off there. So there's that corner there. When you take that corner off, you'll see another screw here. needs to be also unscrewed. That's one of what I'm going to call a longer one, a bit longer. So now we've undone those screws, we can get in a way to the meat of the problem. Again, be careful when you're standing it up because this lid will come open. We need a wide blade screwdriver there, well wider. So just those like catches either side of this screw hole. We need to like lever this up a bit and slide this out. Put the screwdriver under there and also leaving this forward. Okay, just go slowly here because there might be ink, and here's our ink pad. It's got some weight to it because it's full of ink. And basically just a lot of almost like sponge material, actually soaking in ink, so try not to touch it. So that's your ink pad out there, and just here is the like nozzle where the waste ink comes out. And we will want some paper towel to wipe things down, so we want to clean this out a bit, clean the edges of this out, and actually we want to get all the sponge out of here. And I would say long nose pliers for that. So first one, I'm going to get some paper towel there and clean this out a little bit. So okay, I've got some paper towel, and you will be needing paper towel anyway, quite a bit. You're putting that on the end of the screwdriver and generally pushing it into here. Some isopropylene alcohol will possibly be a bit beneficial here. Now this is where, if you're putting a tube system on, basically you're going to use a syringe, cut an end off a syringe, glue it on here, and then you have a tube that you can pour pipe on. Okay, so I've got these long nose pliers. Make sure this is getting in the camera. And basically you can start pulling these out. I'm going to keep them in some sort of order. Basically all we've got there is a plastic box. These are quite covered in ink, as you can see. And I'm going to rinse this out just under a tap, and then I'll come back. Well, actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all these bits and I'm going to give them a good rinse out with water. Just normal tap water, hotish water. Give this a clean out, and I'm going to squeeze these out as much as possible and get them dry as much as possible, but they're always going to be damp. Then I'll come back. Okay, I've just been washing them, and I probably should have put some gloves on. Now, one tip I would say is don't squeeze them too fast because it'll squirt out water and that'll be soaking in ink. Some of the bits will come off. Now the problem is I found that as you squeeze them they tend to crumple up and stay in that position. So if you wet them after that, they tend to smooth out a bit if you're careful. Just be careful, do it slowly, and then lay them flat on something and squeeze them in this sort of fashion. And I think these are one of these things that it doesn't matter how much you sort of wash them, you're always going to get ink, so long as you get the majority out. And basically what I'm going to do now is put these on top of like a double radiator that's pretty warm to allow them to dry, and then I'm basically going to put it back using the opposite technique to what I use. Now this is only the hardware side in a way. The software side is you need a reset to tell the printer that you have put in a new ink mat sort of thing, ink pad. So there's the ink waste part. On the underside of this printer. Another thing you might want to try is a few sheets of paper towel, press on a firm surface to soak up some of the dampness out. Putting quite a bit of force on these. So that gets rid of some of the moisture out of them. As I say, I'm just going to spread them out on a radiator piece of plastic just in case any drips do come off, and I'll probably show you when that's done. A few hours I would expect that to take, probably overnight actually. Well, this plastic thing that there was like sponges in a way go into has come up quite clean with just a rinse with water. So now I'm just waiting for the parts to dry, then I'll put it back together. I'll probably wipe round inside here a bit more with a damp cloth, try and clean that up. If it comes out well, I'll show you that. So I've just got some damp paper towel, pretty damp. Actually that's bringing off that quite well. And what seem to be like stains on the plastic, that is. A bit hard to get in around this waste nozzle there. We'll need quite a bit of paper towel. Actually what some people seem to do is stick a lot of folded paper towel in this plastic unit, and it will have to be locked quite compressed to soak up some of the ink. The actual parts, the sort of spongy, I don't know what to call them, spongy parts that come with it, don't work out. Just wetting up some of the damp water there. It's come out quite clean. So I'll just show you my drying technique. These are just some like carrier bags. This is a double radiator, and then the gap in between on top of these carrier bags just to stop any possible drips. I've got these, well I'm going to call them sponges, ink pads, lying out there. So basically I'm going to give them quite a few hours there, turn them over every so often, and then put them back in the unit. So there we are, just a couple of old carrier bags on top of a double radiator there. Okay, I've just got them off the radiator. They've been on there a while. As you see, they're pretty thin now, but I would expect them to expand expand as they soak up ink. And I've laid them out here in the order that I think they're going to go back in. See how this like cutout gets in a way bigger. That's the wrong way around, that should be that way around. Because there are like bumps in the plastic box type thing that goes into. But I'll be showing you that just now. Okay, let's look at this one, see. It's pretty dry now. Well, it's quite dry. I think they could possibly even go a little bit drier than they are now, but not much. I think that'll be okay to put in as a test. It's cold that end, so I don't know if that end's been over, like off the edge of the radiators. I would estimate that's to have been about 6 hours that they've been on the radiators, give or take a little bit. Okay, so watch out for these like cutouts, because they have to fit in to the box a certain way. So here's the box, and as you see it's got some bumps in there, and that's why the cutouts have to go a certain way. So let's try with this bigger one in first. Now notice that there are bumps on this now. I mean, they can be almost torn off. So let's just slide that in there. Next one. And this sort of channel, in a way, I think that's where the actual inkjet waste nozzle goes, so it squirts ink down there and then it'll fill and spread out basically. Next one. Next one. Still got that like raised edge over there, so we still need the cutouts. And next one. And the last one, which doesn't have any cutouts at all, so that goes right here, and there's no like raised parts there. I'm going to do this one-handed at the moment, so it's a little bit awkward. Straighten it out when it goes in. There we go. So you can see that it's like quite a mess when I do it like this, and quite a lot of gaps. But I'm hoping that as ink sort of does get squirted in the channel in a way here, that these will start expanding and will fill these gaps. So basically that's that done. I mean, they're not going to come out of there unless I give it a very good knocking, I don't think. Let's show you the gaps there. But I think that will be alright. I'm just basically going to put it back together and see what happens. Okay, and that's that end, like the holes in. This is this end here, which has these things on. Okay, just want to spread them out a little bit before I put back in, so they're not right on top of each other, so each one will have a bit of room to move. There we are. But still getting this message, so that is the software side of the cleaning of the ink pads. Right, now go into this folder. First of all, go into this other subfolder within here. Double click on that and double click on this program. Now this always opens up in my second monitor, so I have to drag it over here. Come back here. Oops, went back too far. But anyway, get into here and then this program. Double click on that. Keep the other program open. Still open now. Let me, yeah, I'll keep that open. Say accept. Now it will go blank a bit. It might go blank a few seconds. Don't panic. And then eventually it'll come back up with this. Click select. Select your printer. There's a few options here. Click your country in a way. And then click down here. Now I always click this. Mine's on a USB port. I would not say use it over Wi-Fi. Don't know if that's possible actually. Click OK. Right. Now the other program is still open. It is here. Oh, this is where it can get a bit iffy because you need to put your mouse pointer on see to drag me there. Press left and hold it. Now notice the symbol there. It's almost like I'm not going to do this, but it is. Don't panic. And basically just drag that over on top of this button. Again, that symbol is still shown. So it's sequential adjust mode. You just place it on top, dragging it on top, and then let go of your left mouse button. Now, if you look back here, you see that some extra things have come up here. So you click on that so that's highlighted. Then click enable. Now, if you look here, you see that this is shown where it was grayed out before, so we can select that now. Now these might be in a different order, slightly, I don't know, but look for waste ink tray, pad tray, sorry. Go there, go to replacement. Go up here, click OK, and then you get all this. Click this box, click that box, click check. Oh, because my printer's turned off. I think that's why it's doing that. So initially your printer needs to be turned on. Even though it's got a bad sign up saying the error, don't worry about that. This will, well, it still work for me. So I'll have to let the printer boot up. Again, oh, it's going on about the ink cartridges there. That's why it's beeping. Click this. Now see, let me click that to make sure I do check. Gonna do initialize. I have to click both of these. Sometimes different numbers come up here. Gonna do initialization anyway, so you might have to muck about with them. Click OK. Please turn off printer. Sorry, I'm not showing you this, but take my word for it that you can probably hear the printer going off now. Yep, it's gone off. When it's gone off, click OK. And then you can read this if you want. Click OK. Click next. And then you get some tests. Now this is a much bigger test in a way than what Epson give you. So I would say yes, go for that. But obviously you will have to turn the printer on to do that. Now I'm not going to show you that, but take my word. Oh yes, you click the print button there to tell it to print or whichever one you want. I would suggest yes, you test that. I'm going to just cancel out of that. And basically that's it done. Then you can quit this, quit that. And that will stop this ink waste pad whatever ever coming up. That's best wishes from Films for You.